All were raised in Norfolk, Virginia. Is that right?
All were raised in not only in Norfolk, Virginia, but in that same house that we all were born in.
Can you tell us about your parents, Brother Boone Sr.?
My parents have a very simple story. They were two poor people. My father worked at a lumber mill just about all of his life. And my mother was a homemaker, and on the side, she did some seamstress work. She made and repaired clothes for people in the neighborhood.
Now, Brother Boone Sr., you mentioned about your brothers and sisters, and all of you all received your early education in the Norfolk area. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. During your early education, Brother Boone Sr., did you go to segregated schools? Was it all black school?
I did. I went to all black schools.
Okay. And your brothers and sisters as well?
Yes, my brothers and sisters, yes.
Okay. And high school was the same? You went to high school in Norfolk as well?
High school, yes.
Did you play any sports when you were in school, Brother Boone Sr.?
No, I did not play school sports, no.
Okay. Where did you go to college?
I went to A&T in Greensboro.
North Carolina A&T, is that right?
Okay.
And while you were there, were you involved in any type of activities?
Just the band, and I was involved in some of the social clubs on the campus. That's about it.
Okay, I'm glad you mentioned the band because I know in conversation with you that you shared with me your extensive involvement with music, and I was just wondering if you might share with us when you first began playing music or taking music lessons, and what instrument was that?
I played the trumpet.
How old were you when you first started playing?
I was in high school before I really started playing. In fact, before I didn't get an instrument until I got in the band and started playing. In the beginner's band, I started playing the trumpet.
So you played in high school and in college as well?
Yes.
Now, out of college, after you finished college, did you continue to play your music? Did you continue to play your trumpet?
Oh, yes. I went to college. When I went to college, I played in the Army band right after I finished high school.
So right after high school, you played in the band?
Yes. In the military. Army.
Okay. And I remember you mentioned to me a story about when you were in the military that you, in fact, wanted to go out for the band, and your commanding officer or somebody superior didn't want you to, and I think you decided to take it in your own hand and decide to go out for the band. Can you tell that part of that story?
Yes, I was in a laundry outfit, and one day I decided to go to my commanding officer and ask him if I could go up and audition for the band. Now, the outfit that I was in, the laundry outfit that I was in, was all black, from all men from Norfolk, Virginia. when I asked my commanding officer if I could go audition for the band, he told me a flat no, because there were no blacks in the band there at Fort Lee, Virginia. So what happened, since he wouldn't allow me to go audition, I took off one day, we call it AWOL. I left the outfit and went to the band room and asked the bandmaster if I could audition for the band. And the first question he asked me if I had permission from my commanding officer. And I told him no, that I did not, because my commanding officer told me I could make the band because I was black. And this was a white band and never had a black in the band. The commanding officer said, okay, so what I'll do is I will give you the audition, and if you pass, I'll take it from there. It so happened that I did pass the audition, and the next thing my commanding officer knew, I had gotten a letter saying that I had made the band and I would be assigned to the band. And he could, the commanding officer congratulated me after that. And that was the end of my time in the laundry outfit. From then on, that was the first integrated group of musicians that I had ever been with before. Never been with a mixed high school group at all.
Were you the first black in that military band?
Yes, I was the first black in the 392nd Army Band at Fort Lee, Virginia. The first black in there.
That's an outstanding accomplishment, Brother Boone Sr. Brother Boone, that's outstanding.
Thank you.
Let me ask you a question, and I think it's probably, what period did you serve in the Army? I'd like to establish that.
And you talking about period or years?
Years. I'm sorry, what years?
Yes, it was in the early 50s.
That's during the Korean War period?
Yes.
Around the Korean War, okay. I'd like to ask you, how did you meet Mrs. Boone, Brother Boone Sr.?
I met my wife in a mathematics class at Liberty Washington High School. I was in high school.
And did you all continue seeing each other after high school?
After high school, yes.
Okay, and you all did eventually marry?
We got married after I had gotten in the band, and we got engaged, and we married in Norfolk, Virginia, on December the 24th.
And you and Mrs. Boone just recently celebrated, if I'm not mistaken, what, your 71st wedding anniversary or 70th?
Well, we celebrated our 70th anniversary, and we are now a year after that. This makes 71.
71, outstanding. How many children did you and Mrs. Boone have, Brother Boone Sr.?
Just two. Rudy Jr. and Sharon.
And Sharon. And what profession did they get into? What do they do professionally?
Well, Rudy Jr. went into human resources for different companies, and Sharon became president of her beauty company. The beauty company that she started off with in high school, she continued with and progressed up to become president of her own company.
That's outstanding, Brother Boone Sr. And of course, Brother Boone Jr. is outstanding Omega man from New Side Chapter, 1971. I know you're proud of that, Brother Boone Sr., huh?
I'm proud of more than that about him. He was a good student all the way through school. In fact, we sent him to a Catholic school. Then his experience at Rudolph High School, which was the first integrated school that anyone from our family had gone to.
That's outstanding, brother. Absolutely outstanding. Now, I'd like to ask you about another part of your experience. Can you just share with us a little bit about your experience coming up during the period of segregation and lynchings, and how you were able to navigate that and certainly protect your family and your children from all those things?
Well, the main thing that navigated me through that period of time was the fact that even though my parents never went to college, they taught me that I determined richness not by money, but by things I could do with my own mind and body. That I was rich with capabilities, and if I were to use those capabilities and the wisdom that I had gained over a period of time, that I could survive through life, make enough to support myself and my family.
Well, I think that type of information that your parents shared with you certainly instilled in you some outstanding wisdom. Matter of fact, the fact that they may have had limited education doesn't mean anything. They had a PhD in life, and for them to share that with you, that certainly guided you to greatness on your own path to making achievements. Let me ask you also, Brother Boone Sr., when did you first learn about Omega Psi Phi fraternity?
I have been pondering that because there's a little confusion about how I learned first about the Omega fraternity. But I think it was mainly because of it was a black newspaper that we had in Gulfport, Virginia, called the Journal and Guide. And Brother Ellis F. Corbett was the editor of the paper at that time. And that's one of the first ways I learned about the American South fraternity. Because of being a brother of the fraternity, and he held this office. He was editor of the local newspaper, and also he became editor of the Oracle later on too. And I got an Oracle some kind of way, and I learned about fraternity and that by way of that process.
So you knew about Omega before you went down to North Carolina A&T?
I knew something about it, yes, but I learned more about it after I got to A&T.
Let me ask, how long was your pledge program, Brother Boone Sr.? You don't mind me asking?
It was a quarter.
A quarter, I got you.
Yeah, yes.
I got you. Also, I know that in having conversations with your son, that over the years you've received numerous accolades and awards. Are there any in particular that you might want to share with us that mean a whole lot to you? Obviously, they all do, but is there any in particular you'd like to share with us?
Well, the main thing about my particular awards is started in college there at A&T. I received what we call the William Andrew Rhodes Award, which was supposed to have been the highest, the best record in band at that time.
That's outstanding, bro. That's outstanding. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I believe I received some information or found out that a building was named for you at a high school in your area in North Carolina.
Yeah, that was called the Big Four, and the Big Four was simply 4 all black high schools in the same school system, Winston-Salem Forsyth County school system. We had 4 all black high schools within the system.
And they actually named a music facility after you at the music schools?
Not just after me. There were 4 all black high schools. And
I understand. Okay.
Each one of those band directors had served 30 years or more in that position at their school. And this Big Four group, this group of all graduates from those 4 different high schools, they formed an alumni association. At first, they had their own alumni association for each high school, but later on, they decided to join to be one alumni called the Big Four. And one of the purposes that they had would be to honor their directors who had been with them 30 years or more. So that's why Carver High School was named after me, because of my having taught there for 30 years. And the other 3 high schools actually was Anderson. Anderson was the newest of the group. In fact, I taught at Anderson High School at one point after I had started at Carver. So I taught at 2 of those 4 schools. And Mr. Harry Wheeler taught at Atkins High School, and Mr. Bernard Ford taught at Paisley High School. And they were honored with their names on their schools.
That's outstanding, Brother Boone. Absolutely outstanding. So you've been a musician, a music educator, as well as a band leader. You had your own band at one point. Is that correct?
Well, that was in addition to having been the high school band director. Each one of those band directors had jazz bands. In fact, we used to give a talent show at each school as a fundraiser for the school.
and each one of the directors of the school bands, yourself as well, would perform at those jazz concerts?
Well, we would direct the bands, not perform ourselves.
I see. That's outstanding, Brother Boone. Brother Boone, in closing, I would like to ask you if you have any words of wisdom for our viewing audience this evening.
Well, I think that the best way we can really teach somebody or show somebody how to do something is to actually do it for them, and they can learn more and faster from your example and read a book most of the time. So I believe in teaching people as much as you can and learning as much as you can from others. In other words, let's say that I always believed, and I have been taught that you can be taught by a fool if you listen, because a fool knows some things that a lot of other people do not know, and you can learn from them if you set your mind to do that. Not look down on the person, but to simply receive them as a teacher, somebody teaching you something by example. So.
Okay, brother. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go right ahead.
Yes. What I was thinking. In fact, I try to do that even at my age, 94 plus now. But I don't let a day go by without attempting to try to learn something from somebody, and also to offer some help to somebody else. Something that I know I can convey to someone else for their use. And much of my learning really comes from just listening, not just trying to show people how to do things, but just to be an example of what I am talking about. I think many people learn that way. They learn by seeing others do things and accomplishing things with what they have.
That's great advice, brother. The last question I'll ask you this evening, Brother Boone, if you don't mind, but being an Omega man for 70 plus years, what advice would you give to other Omega men?
Well, I would say simply be your best. We are whatever you do. Always be your best at whatever you do. Make late. You make lots of friendship. Make friends rather than to expect somebody to be your friend without you doing anything. You make friends with other people, and this is how you achieve friendship, by being a friend.
Well, Brother Boone Sr., I certainly know that you have been and continue to be a friend, a mentor, and certainly an example of what a man is, and most definitely what a Omega man is. And we all love you so much. We appreciate you so much. We look forward to hearing your voice every morning when we call into our Omega prayer line. And you're the first man on the line every day. We love you so much for that.
I'll have to take that back and give the credit to my son, who wakes me up every morning, 5-something every morning.
It's a team effort. 2 Qs in the house. Can't go wrong with that, Brother Boone Sr. Can't go wrong with that one.
So
once again, we thank you so much. We love you so much, Brother Boone Sr. And we'd like to thank Brother Rudolph Valentino Boone Jr. for facilitating this evening and helping us so much. And also for Brother Reggie Ware, Iota Phi Spring 83, for his technical expertise and providing his Zoom expertise. And also Brother Frank McDuffie from Laurinburg Institute, who came up with the concept of First Blacks. And in addition, we'd like to thank our good brother Relaford, right, for also facilitating and helping us put this together this evening. So once again, thank you, Brother Rudolph Valentino Boone Sr., for being so generous with us this evening and sharing with us your experiences. And my name is Bernard Fisher, Bloody Beta Chapter, 1070 Bloody Beta Chapter. Good evening.
Thank you, Brother Fisher. Brother McGuff,
You're quite welcome, Brother Boone. Thank you so much.
Thank you.